You look at people who reach 100 years old, full of life, maybe still sharp as a tack or pottering in their garden, and you might think, wow, they must have amazing genes. It's easy to believe that living a long, healthy life is just a lucky genetic lottery, and for some, genes certainly play a part. That's true. But here's the surprising, and maybe even a little challenging, truth for most people who live incredibly long, vibrant lives. It's less about the DNA they were born with and much more about the life they lived. The painful reality for many of us is that we feel our health, energy, and vitality are declining simply because of age, as if it's an unavoidable fate written in our cells. We accept aches, low energy, and forgetfulness as just part of getting older. But what if that didn't have to be the whole story? What if there were secrets, simple daily choices, that could drastically change that trajectory? The real secret held by those living to 100 and beyond isn't some miraculous medical breakthrough or expensive treatment. It's about cultivating fundamental habits that nourish the body and mind consistently over time. These aren't complicated. In fact, they're often surprisingly simple. In this video, we're going to explore these powerful habits, the real secrets of people who don't just live a long time, but live well for a long time. These are things anyone, at any age, can start doing. Stick around to the very end, because I'll share something that might truly surprise you about what these incredible centenarians have in common. Let's dive right in and start with the first piece of this longevity puzzle. And it's something incredibly fundamental, something our bodies are designed for, yet something many of us do far too little of, especially as the years go by. It's movement. Now, when I say movement, I'm not talking about needing to run a marathon next week or suddenly becoming a gym enthusiast if that's not your thing. Absolutely not. We're talking about consistent, gentle, joyful movement woven into the fabric of your everyday life. Think about those images of people in places like Sardinia or Okinawa, known for their centenarians. They're not hitting the treadmill for hours. They're walking to the market, working in their gardens, taking the stairs, doing chores by hand. Their lives demand movement. Naturally. Why is this so crucial? Our bodies are like intricate machines that need to be used to stay in good working order. When we don't move, everything starts to slow down. Circulation becomes sluggish. Muscles weaken and stiffen. Joints lose their flexibility. And even our internal systems like digestion and waste removal become less efficient. It's a bit like leaving a bicycle out in the rain. If you don't ride it, the chain rusts, the tires deflate, and it just doesn't work well anymore. Regular movement keeps the parts oiled and functioning smoothly. It pumps blood efficiently, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every cell in your body, including your brain. This is absolutely vital for cognitive function. Keeping your mind sharp and clear. Think of it as spring cleaning for your internal pipes. But it's not just about physical mechanics. Movement is a powerful mood enhancer. When you move, your body releases endorphins, those wonderful feel-good chemicals that can lift your spirits, reduce stress, and even help manage pain. A simple walk outside, feeling the sun or the breeze, watching the world go by. It's not just exercise, it's medicine for the soul. Many centenarians report feeling a sense of purpose and connection to nature or their community through their daily movement. Whether it's tending a garden, walking to visit a neighbor, or just strolling through their familiar surroundings. It's part of their daily rhythm, not a chore they dread. How can you practically incorporate more movement? Starting today. It doesn't have to be a dramatic overhaul. Start small. If you're sitting for long periods, set a timer to get up and walk around for a few minutes every hour. Choose the stairs instead of the lift if it feels safe and manageable. When you're watching television, get up during commercial breaks and do some simple stretches or march in place. Park a little further away from the shop entrance. If you have a garden, even a small one, spend some time pottering. It's incredible how much gentle movement gardening involves. Bending, reaching, lifting light things. Find something you enjoy. Maybe it's dancing to your favorite music in your living room, joining a gentle exercise class specifically designed for older adults, or going for a leisurely walk with a friend. Consistency is far more important than intensity. Aim for movement that leaves you feeling invigorated, not exhausted. Consider a real-life example, someone like Emma. A centenarian featured in a longevity study. Emma lived in a small village and never exercised in the conventional sense, but every single day. She walked to the village shop. She tended her vegetable patch. She walked to church. She walked to visit her sister. Her life was full of natural, unforced movement. She didn't need a gym membership. Her body was constantly engaged in purposeful activity. This kept her strong, balanced, and mobile well into her later years. It wasn't a separate activity. It was simply how she lived. The key is to find ways to integrate movement back into your daily routine, making it a natural part of your day. Just like brushing your teeth or having breakfast, it doesn't have to be difficult or painful. It should feel accessible and even pleasant. Now, alongside moving our bodies, what we put into our bodies is another cornerstone of living a long, healthy life. And here again, the secret isn't about expensive superfoods or restrictive diets. It's strikingly simple and centers around the incredible power of food that comes directly from the earth. We're talking about plant-based foods, not necessarily becoming a strict vegetarian or vegan, though many centenarians eat very little meat, but making fruits, vegetables, legumes like beans and lentils, nuts, seeds, and whole grains the foundation of your diet. Look at the diets in the blue zones again. Those places around the world where people live longest and healthiest. What do they have in common? Their diets are overwhelmingly plant-based. They eat beans and lentils every day. They consume a wide variety of colorful vegetables and fruits. They eat whole grains like oats and barley. Meat is eaten sparingly, often only on special occasions. And dairy consumption is generally low. This isn't a coincidence. Plants are packed with essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals, and fiber that are absolutely vital for keeping our bodies functioning optimally. Fiber, in particular, is often overlooked, but it's a game changer for digestion, helping to keep things moving smoothly and feeding the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which plays a huge role in overall health, from immunity to mood. Beyond the basic nutrients, plants are bursting with something called antioxidants and phytonutrients. These are powerful compounds that help protect your cells from damage caused by everyday life, pollution, and stress. Think of them as little protectors fighting off the rust inside your body. Eating a rainbow of different colored fruits and vegetables ensures you get a wide array of these protective compounds. A plate full of vibrant greens, reds, oranges, and purples is a plate full of longevity fuel. How can you shift towards a more plant-based way of eating without feeling deprived or overwhelmed? Again, small, simple steps are the key. You don't have to go plant-based overnight. Start by adding more vegetables to meals you already make. Throw an extra handful of spinach into your soup or pasta sauce. Add a side salad to your lunch. Snack on fruit instead of biscuits. Make one meal a day entirely plant-based. Maybe a hearty lentil soup for lunch, or a vegetable stir-fry for dinner. Try having a meatless Monday. Experiment with different types of beans and lentils. They're incredibly versatile, affordable, and packed with protein and fiber. Hummus, bean salads, lentil stews. There are so many delicious options. Swap refined grains like white bread and white pasta for whole grain versions. These small swaps add up significantly over time. Consider another person from a longevity hotspot, like Maria, who lived in a rural area. Her diet was simple, based on what she could grow or what was locally available. Lots of seasonal vegetables, beans, wholemeal bread, olive oil, and some local cheese. Meat was a rarity. Her meals weren't complicated or fancy, but they were nutrient-dense and based on whole, unprocessed plant foods. This wasn't a diet she was on. It was just how she ate, how her family had always eaten. It was sustainable and enjoyable. The key is to find ways to make these healthy plant foods appealing and a regular part of your meals. Focusing on flavor and enjoyment. It's about abundance, adding more delicious, healthy things to your plate, rather than restriction. Now, moving on from nourishing our bodies through movement and food. There's another vital element that many centenarians master, often without even consciously trying. It's about what goes on in our minds and how we navigate the inevitable bumps and stresses of life. Think about it. Life throws curveballs at everyone, regardless of age. We experience loss, disappointment, health challenges, and worries about the future. How we react to these things makes a profound difference to our long-term health. Chronic stress, the kind that bubbles away day after day, is incredibly damaging. It floods our bodies with stress hormones like cortisol, which, over time, can weaken our immune system, increase inflammation, raise blood pressure, and contribute to a whole host of age-related diseases. People who live long, healthy lives aren't necessarily stress-free. They're often skilled at managing stress and maintaining a positive outlook. This isn't about being unrealistically cheerful all the time, but cultivating resilience and finding ways to cope with difficulties that don't constantly deplete their energy or health. They often have a strong sense of purpose, something that gets them up in the morning. Whether it's caring for family, working on a project, or being involved in their community, having purpose provides a buffer against stress and gives life meaning. How do they do this often? It's through simple, everyday practices. Many incorporate moments of stillness or reflection into their day. This could be formal meditation, or simply spending a few minutes sitting quietly, focusing on their breath, or enjoying a cup of tea without distractions. Spending time in nature is another powerful stress reliever. Whether it's a walk in the park, sitting by the sea, or just tending to some houseplants. Connecting with the natural world has a calming effect on our nervous system. Finding joy in simple pleasures is also key. Listening to music, reading a good book, pursuing a hobby, spending time with a beloved pet. These small moments of pleasure act as antidotes to stress. Another crucial aspect is maintaining a positive mindset. Again, this isn't about ignoring problems, but about focusing on what you can control, practicing gratitude for what you have, and looking for the good even in challenging situations. Centenarians often possess a remarkable ability to adapt and find contentment with their circumstances. They tend not to dwell on things they can't change, but instead focus their energy on living fully in the present moment. This isn't just a nice idea. Research shows that optimism and a positive attitude are linked to better health outcomes and increased longevity. Consider someone like George, who lived through difficult times, including wartime. He didn't have an easy life, but he had an unwavering sense of gratitude for the simple things: his family, his garden, his daily routine. When faced with challenges, he would often say, "Well, things could be worse, couldn't they? Let's just get on with it." He found comfort in his faith and the rhythm of his days. He didn't rage against the dying of the light. He simply kept living it, finding moments of peace and joy. Cultivating this kind of inner calm and resilience is a practice, something you work on a little bit each day. It might involve learning simple breathing exercises, finding a quiet corner to de-stress, or consciously choosing to focus on the positive aspects of your day before you go to bed. It's about building your internal strength and finding your own ways to weather the storms of life without letting them completely overwhelm you. Moving from our inner state to our outer world. Another powerful thread woven through the lives of many centenarians is the strength of their connections with others. We are inherently social beings, and feeling connected to a community, whether it's family, friends, neighbors, or a group with shared interests, is absolutely vital for our health and well-being. Especially as we age, isolation and loneliness are increasingly recognized as significant risk factors for poor health, both physical and mental. They can be as detrimental as smoking or inactivity. People who live to 100 often remain actively engaged in their social networks. They visit family, meet friends for tea, participate in community events, volunteer, or belong to clubs or religious groups. These connections provide emotional support during difficult times, a sense of belonging and purpose, opportunities for laughter and enjoyment, and even practical help when needed. Having people you can rely on, people who care about you and who you care about, creates a vital safety net. It also keeps your mind stimulated through conversation and shared experiences. Think about the cultures where people live longest. They often have strong family ties and community bonds. People aren't just left alone. They are integrated into the fabric of daily life. Children and grandchildren are often nearby. Neighbors look out for each other. And there's a sense of collective support. This doesn't mean you need to have a huge social circle. Quality is often more important than quantity. A few close, meaningful relationships can provide immense benefits. How can you nurture your social connections? It starts with making an effort. Reach out to family members regularly, even if it's just a phone call or a video chat. Schedule regular meetups with friends. If you've lost touch with people, try reconnecting. Think about joining a club or group that aligns with your interests. A book club, a walking group, a gardening club, a volunteering organization. Religious or community centers often offer a wide range of activities. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Most people are happy to welcome someone new. Offer help to neighbors or friends. Acts of kindness strengthen bonds. Even small interactions, like chatting with the person behind the counter at your local shop or saying hello to people you pass on your walk, can contribute to feeling more connected. Consider someone like Mrs. Davies, who at 98 still had her bridge club meet at her house every week. She also had tea with her sister on Tuesdays and went to the local community center's Knit and Natter group on Thursdays. These weren't just social activities. They were lifelines. They gave her something to look forward to, kept her mind sharp, and provided a strong network of support and companionship. When she had a small fall, it was a friend from the bridge club who checked on her and raised the alarm. These connections weren't just pleasant. They were literally life-sustaining. Making social connection a priority is an investment in your long-term health and happiness. Finally, alongside movement, nourishing food, managing stress, and staying connected, there's one more cornerstone habit that's absolutely non-negotiable for long-term health, yet often gets squeezed out in our busy lives. It's something your body and brain desperately need to repair, restore, and consolidate everything that happened during the day. I'm talking about sleep. Quality sleep isn't a luxury, it's a biological necessity, and it becomes even more crucial as we get older. During sleep, our bodies perform essential maintenance tasks, repairing tissues, consolidating memories, clearing waste products from the brain, and regulating hormones that control everything from our appetite to our immune function. Chronic poor sleep or not getting enough sleep is linked to a whole host of health problems, including weakened immunity, increased risk of heart disease, impaired cognitive function, mood disorders, and difficulty managing weight. Conversely, consistently getting enough restorative sleep supports brain health, boosts your immune system, helps manage stress, and improves your overall physical and mental well-being. Centenarians, anecdotally and through observation, often have regular, sufficient sleep patterns. They listen to their bodies and prioritize rest. Now, sleep patterns can change as we age, with some people finding they wake up more often during the night or need less total sleep than they did when they were younger. However, the need for quality rest doesn't disappear. It's about finding the right rhythm and habits that support restorative sleep for you. This isn't about forcing yourself to sleep for a magic number of hours if your body doesn't need it. but about creating conditions that allow for restful sleep when your body is ready. What are some simple sleep habits you can cultivate? Consistency is key. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time each day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's internal clock. Create a relaxing bedtime routine in the hour or so before you go to sleep. This could involve reading a book, listening to calming music, taking a warm bath, or doing some gentle stretching. Avoid stimulating activities like watching exciting television programs, working on screens, or having heavy discussions close to bedtime. Make sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and a comfortable temperature. Avoid caffeine and alcohol in the hours before bed, as they can disrupt sleep. And while a short nap can be refreshing, long or late afternoon naps can make it harder to fall asleep at night. Consider someone like old Mr. Tanaka, who lived in a Japanese village famous for its long-lived residents. His day followed a natural rhythm. He woke with the sun, spent his day working modestly in his garden and engaging with his community, had a simple evening meal, and was usually in bed shortly after it got dark. He didn't stay up late watching television or scrolling on a phone. His life was aligned with the natural sleep-wake cycle, and he prioritized his rest. It wasn't a struggle for him. It was just his way of life. Finding your own simple, consistent bedtime ritual and creating a sleep-friendly environment can make a world of difference to the quality of your rest and, by extension, your overall health and vitality. So, we've talked about the incredible power of keeping your body moving, making nourishing plant-based foods the cornerstone of your diet, finding ways to manage stress and cultivate a positive outlook, nurturing your connections with others, and prioritizing quality sleep. You see, these aren't revolutionary medical breakthroughs. They are fundamental practices that have been understood for generations in cultures where people live long, healthy lives. They are the threads that weave together a life of vitality, not just longevity. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by health advice, to think you need to make drastic changes or follow complicated regimens. But the real secret of people who live to 100 isn't complexity. It's consistency in embracing these simple, accessible habits. They don't have some magical genetic advantage. They simply live lives that are conducive to good health. They move naturally. They eat mostly plants. They manage stress. They stay connected. And they rest well. And here's the surprising thing I wanted to share at the end. The biggest secret is perhaps how ordinary these habits are, and how much they are within your reach, regardless of your age or current circumstances. You don't need special equipment, expensive foods, or a drastic lifestyle change. You just need to start, one small step at a time. Remember, it's never too late to make a positive change. Even small adjustments to your daily routine can start shifting the needle towards better health and more energy. Adding an extra walk, swapping out processed snacks for fruit, taking a few minutes to breathe deeply when you feel stressed, calling a friend, or making your bedroom a little darker. These small acts of self-care accumulate over time and build the foundation for a longer, more vibrant life. Your genes might load the gun, as the saying goes, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. You have far more power than you might think. I'd love to hear what you think about these habits. Which one resonates most with you? Which one feels like something you could start working on today? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your ideas might inspire someone else. If you found this video helpful or encouraging, please give it a like. That tells me I'm creating content you find valuable. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more videos on living your best life at every age. Thank you for watching. And remember, you have the power to influence your health and happiness every single day. Live your best life, no matter how many years you've lived.